Hello traders, welcome back to the WillssFX channel. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how to pass your FTMO challenge. I'm going to give you some tips, some pointers from someone that's actually passed the FTMO, the challenge under verification, and I'm going to give you some pointers on how I actually managed to do this. Some tips for maybe beginner traders actually going to get funded, so then you're more prepared when you actually go and take the challenge. The first point is to make sure your strategy is already profitable, because there's no point going into FTMO, you've been trading a month or even less, and then thinking, well, if I just make 10%, I can get funded. Well, obviously it's not that easy. You have to stick to the FTMO rules, you have to stick to the daily loss, and all this other rules that FTMO actually has to pass the challenge. You can't just go in, pass it straight away, and then just start making 10, 20k a month. It's just not as easy as that. Otherwise everyone would do it. But yeah, make sure you have this profitable strategy already. I've made videos before how to actually create your own strategy and create your own trading plan. I've made videos on how to back test. All of this will help you build your trading plan and your trading strategy, so then you'll be able to pass the FTMO. And the best way to actually know if you're ready to take the FTMO is by trading a live account and making 10% plus per month. If you can't make 10% per month on your personal account, then with the added pressure of the challenge, the deadline, the rules, you won't be able to do it on the FTMO. Let's say your strategy, you risk 2% and you make 5% per month, or 5R per month, and that ends up being 10% profit. That's perfect. You do that for a few months and then you think, okay, I've been able to do this consistently now for a couple of months. I'm now ready to take the FTMO. And then that's when you can go and take the FTMO and see if you're ready. But don't go straight in for the max FTMO. This is where a lot of people make the mistake. They don't have much money to their name, but then they go and spend £1,000, I think it is £950, £1,000 on the 200k FTMO. If you fail this, you've now lost £1,000. But let's say you start with the 10k one to get used to the rules, get used to the FTMO platforms, the spreads, and all this differences which you actually see different from your broker to actually using a funded broker. And then you can just work your way up through the account sizes and then merge the accounts, and then you can end up with the max FTMO. There's no rush to actually do it, so there's no point just going into the deep end. Like, you wouldn't say you have £100,000 cash personally, you wouldn't start trading and put all that money in straight away, would you? You start with a small amount. If you're profitable with that small amount, you then increase the amount. If you're profitable with that amount, slowly increase it, because the psychology is very, very different. 10k FTMO, you're risking £100 per trade. 200k FTMO, you're risking £2,000 per trade. So you see the difference it can have on your psychology from actually trading these large amounts of money. Especially if you haven't traded that amount of money before, it can definitely affect the way you trade. The second point is to actually use proper risk management. And I say the good thing about FTMO, some people complain about it, and I know some different prop firms have different rules where you have the floating drawdown issue. But FTMO, 5% max daily loss. If you go above that, you've then failed the challenge. This is a very, very good rule to have. It reinforces that risk management and reinforces having an actual trading plan to stop you losing so much in one single day trading. So let's say you have a $100,000 account, you can only lose $5,000 in a day. Let's say you're risking 1% per trade, you can only lose 5 trades in a day. You shouldn't be taking 5 trades in a day. I mean, again, unless you're a scalper, but I'd probably take 1 or 2 to 3 trades a week, probably max. And this is how I've actually managed to pass the FTMOs. 1 good trade and then you've passed. If you scale in on that trade, it's very, very easy to actually pass the challenges, pass the verification. I did both of them in one day. So the first day I actually got the details, I passed. So it's very, very possible for you guys to do it too. Just pick the perfect setups, stick to your plan, stick to the risk management, and then you'll be sorted. I'm pretty sure on the FTMO website, you can add this sort of mentor thing to your MT4 to have that loss limit. So it stops you from even going past that loss limit to stop you from pretty much failing the challenge. Because you could go £1 above the loss limit for the daily loss, and then you failed, then you lose your money. If you have this mentor app, which I'm pretty sure they have on the website, then you can kind of avoid this from happening and actually pass the FTMO without breaking the rules. And obviously you shouldn't have to use the FTMO rules to actually stick to this. You should have your own rules in your trading plan. You should have your daily loss limit. You know, I don't want to lose 2% more in a day. So that's why if I lose 2 trades, you know, I rarely take 2 trades in a day, but if I do, if I lose them both, I'm then not trading. I'll wait for the perfect setup to happen. You know, it's Tuesday now, 12:46 p.m. I guess. Yeah. And you know, I haven't taken a trade this week. It doesn't matter. I take 1 or 2 trades per week, but then most of the time, they usually end up profitable. So let's say I lose the first one, profitable, and the second one, I'm in profit, probably like 5%, 6%. And last week we had 2 trades, 3 trades even, and 10% on the gold trade, 2.5% on GU, 2% on AU. So you see, 3 trades, 3 wins, perfect. I didn't trade every single day. I didn't trade every time there was an opportunity. I waited for the perfect ones, which fit my plan, and this is how I was able to pass the FTMOs. And I'd say the main point is to not rush it. You know, let's say you get your account details and you think, okay, I've got the details now, let me find some trades. Let me find a trade here, let me find a trade here. You can go through all your different pairs, and then you're trying to force the trades. This is where a lot of people actually go wrong when they start full-time trading as well. So that the computers all day, the charts are just there all day. They have nothing else to do because they've quit their job. They're now fully trading, and they just force trades. That's why you should either, you know, have a hobby or something, have stuff to do. This is why work can actually be an advantage sometimes when you're actually trying to become a trader, because it forces you to not be able to look at the charts every single hour of the day, which is obviously detrimental to your trading if you're forcing trades every day. You just got to think you have 30 days for the challenge, you have 60 days for the verification. Why rush it and pass it straight away? You know, I actually passed it in the first day, but that was because I had the perfect setups that day and they were profitable. And that trade I took fit my plan, hit TP, and we passed the challenge and the verification. So, but there is no rush. You have 90 days total. Why would you try and pass it in the first week? There's literally no need. You have to get those minimum 10 trading days anyway. So you have to trade for at least 10 days before you can even get the next stage. So why pass it in a day? Then you'll just be sat there for 9 days, just not trading anything. So you might as well take it slow, you know, take profits along the way, and just build up to actually getting that 10% in the first month, and then 5% in 2 months. You know, it's very, very reasonable targets. And obviously, trade how you normally would trade. So let's say your personal account, you're taking this certain type of setup, you're risking a certain amount, you're taking partials at a certain amount. Don't change that just for the challenge. Don't change it just because you're trading a large amount and you have to hit a certain profit target. Because you know your strategy and the way you currently trade works, so why change it? Stick to what you know, stick to what you've spent hours and hours, months and months of actually learning, and then you will be profitable. Obviously, I'm not saying if you put months in, you're going to be profitable, because it could take years. You know, mine took over a year for me to make any sort of money. You know, just a year pretty much of losing money, which is painful. But once you actually pass the challenges, you know, I did the funding talent 2, passed that, 100% win rate. And the difference is with that one, as soon as you've passed, you didn't have to do the minimum trading days. So as soon as you've passed, you then move on to the next stage. But I think it's good with the FTMO that you actually have to do those minimum trading days, because it does kind of stop people that just risk 5% on the trade, get a 1 to 2, and then pass, go on to the next stage, do the same, pass, and then they get a withdrawal, because that's obviously not really sustainable long term. If you're risking the whole loss limit on each trade, it's just not really something that I personally want to do. But you know, that is obviously up to you how you trade. If that's how you personally trade, go ahead, but it's not really something I'd advise doing. But yeah. And then I'd say once you've actually passed the verification, once you've passed the challenge and you're on to the funded account, this is when, you know, your psychology can actually hurt you and hurt your trading, because you think, okay, I've done that, I've passed the challenge, I've passed the verification, now what? But then you've got to be profitable and stick to those rules every single month from now on, because you've got the account, but you've got the same rules. Obviously, you don't have to make that profit target, but you've still got those rules which you have to abide to. So you kind of have to be perfectly switched on with your trading. You have to be completely focused. You can't make mistakes, because what you know, if you lose 10% of the account, or if you lose 5% in a day, you have to do the whole thing over and over again. And all that stress which you actually had from passing, it's just going to happen again and again. So this is why a lot of people actually never make the first withdrawal. People never actually end up making money consistently from FTMO. You know, if you have your personal account, you could lose 10%. But if you have a funded account, Once you do that, the account is gone. You can no longer trade the funded. You have to take another challenge, you have to take another verification, and then you have to go onto the funded account and make any profit. So what I'm going to do the first month of the actual funded account, I'm going to just take it slow, get some profit, maybe 1 or 2%, 3%, maybe 4%, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Then I'm not going to trade. I'm going to get my refund, I'm going to get that first profit split. So now, if I lose the account, it doesn't really matter because I'll be profitable on that challenge overall. I could just take another one, pass another one, get the refund again, make profit, and you know, as long as you're getting that first withdrawal of over 0.5% or 1%, then technically it was worth your time. So, you know, 1% is £1,000, 2% 2,000, so on and so on. So if you're actually making, you know, 5% a month, you know, $5,000 per month, that's very, very good going. You know, especially as a trader with zero risk on your behalf, because once you've got that refund, it's then risk-free. So it kind of helps your psychology when you're on the second, third, fourth month of actually trading a funded account. First month can be tricky because you're trying to get into profit to then get that withdrawal and get that refund. But once you actually do it a couple of times, then that's when you should be improving the psychology and improving the way you trade, and it should just feel natural then, and the stress will kind of just go. But yeah, I hope this little tips and tricks video did actually help you guys. And if it did, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. My Instagram is in the description down below, so go and follow me on there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.